everyone. Today I have a list of 6 books for you that I absolutely could not put down. So depending on their length, I read all of these in either a couple days or even just a couple sittings. So if you are looking for a page turner, I got you covered. First book that I could not put down is one that I just recently finished. I'm thinking of ending things. Now, I will say the first 50-ish pages, I wasn't really feeling this. After the first 50 pages, then it was like, oh my gosh, cancel my plans the rest of the day. I cannot put this book down. It is so scary, but it's the type of scary where you're like, something's off, something bad is going to happen, but I have no idea what that is. So you have to keep reading because you won't really know exactly what's going on until you get to the end of the book. This is one that I almost think warrants reading twice. I know as soon as I finished it, that's what I thought. I was like, all right, now that I know what the ending is, I feel like I need to read it again from the beginning and so I can actually appreciate it more. This is one that it's definitely best to go in blind. So I am not going to say anything about the plot on this. Just know that it starts a little in my opinion, but after those first 50 pages, then it's going to get really tense and scary. And the ending absolutely broke my heart. Broke my heart, so sad, but definitely recommend this one if you're looking for a page turner. Next book I could not put down, Monday's Not Coming. Now this is young adult, and usually if I recommend young adult, I do so with that caveat. I recommend this if you like young adult. But this book really does not need that warning, that caveat. Even if you don't read a lot of young adult, I would recommend it. Now, like the previous book, this is one where I think it's best to go in pretty blind. So all I will say about it in way of a description is a girl shows up to school and her best friend isn't there, and then a search for her ensues. It's one of those books you'll devour. I couldn't put it down. I read it in 2 days, finished it in a weekend. Next book I could not put down is Dark Matter. This book is so good. I recommend it to everyone. It's a sci-fi thriller. It's sort of a race against time. There's a love story element. I love the messages in it about life. It's amazing. Now, if the word sci-fi just threw you off, don't let it, okay? I personally do not read a lot of sci-fi at all. Doesn't matter, you will love it. Again, I think it's best if I don't say a lot about the plot, but picture if the Midnight Library had a baby with I Am Pilgrim. So kind of similar idea to Midnight Library, but not repetitive, way more exciting, and just an all-around better read, in my opinion, although I did not hate the Midnight Library by any means. The next book I read years ago, I took it on vacation with me to Florida, and I couldn't put it down. I ignored my family the whole trip. And that book is You. So this is part of a series. This is the first book in it, and it is about a stalker. It is eerie, it is creepy, it is suspenseful at times, it is weird. It's so good. Now, I've also read the second book in the series, Hidden Bodies. I really enjoyed that one as well, but the tone felt totally different to me. Whereas You is really dark and creepy, Hidden Bodies almost felt like satire to me. And if you've watched the TV show adaptation of the series, I think it's on Netflix, I would say the show has the same tone as Hidden Bodies, whereas You, the book, has a darker, creepier tone than the show. So if you've already seen the show and you're wondering, is it worth it to read the book? My answer is maybe. If you're going to read one, read the first book because the tone is so different. It's like really dark, but you probably don't need to read the second book in the series. I haven't read the third one, so I can't comment on that. The next book that I could not put down, I actually mentioned in last week's video, but it's so good. It's worth getting back-to-back features on the channel, and that is The Push. The Push is a psychological thriller about a new mom. She thinks something's off with her daughter, but the whole book, you don't know whose perception of events is correct. So because of that, because you're not really sure what the truth is, you will not be able to put this book down. It kind of builds as you go, as it leads up to the ending, and then the ending is just perfect because it just hits it with you and then it's done. Oh, I love this book. I recommend it to everyone. Now, if my TikTok comment section is any indication, some of you are going to disagree with me on this final one, but I absolutely could not put down Sharp Objects. Some of the criticism I see of this book is that it's actually slow and that it's a little predictable. And while I can kind of see where they're coming from in saying that it's predictable, you kind of can see the general direction the book is going in for sure. I did not find it slow at all. And I think that's because I was just so immersed in the atmosphere of the book. I didn't need huge, big plot twists happening every other page because I was fully immersed in this eerie town, these weird, eerie relationships within this family, this messed up family. Oh, I just loved it. I'm such a fan of this book. I actually think I prefer it if we're comparing Gillian Flynn's books. I like it more than Gone Girl. I know that was her big blockbuster, but in my opinion, Sharp Objects is even better. It's my favorite of hers. I love it, I love it, I love it. Read it if you haven't. And there you have it. If you're looking for a book that you will not be able to put down, all 6 of these are books that I read in just a couple days or sittings. Now, just a heads up, with the exception of Dark Matter, I'd say, all of these are varying degrees of dark and disturbing. If you've read any of these, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you have any books that you would add to this list, also let me know. I'm also always looking for new books to add to my TBR. All right, that's it from me this week. I'll see you next week and happy reading.